If you own a computer, here's how to get the most out of it without buying lots of expensive software. Get ready to write down a phone number and watch this.
In 1985, as the internet was in its early growing period, a man known as Eric Milliken, a descendant of Salem witch trials victim Mary Easty, created what is in all likelihood the first webcomic, Witches and Stitches, paving a new way to communicate stories and ideas outside of the standard text-based format and removed from the confines of traditional comic publishing outlets. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the internet began booming and spreading throughout the world, allowing independent artists more opportunities than ever to express themselves through their art. Argon Zark was created by Charlie Parker in June of 1995, revolutionizing the webcomic space by utilizing interactive elements to let readers discover secrets and uncover hidden parts of the lore, or even just hiding additional artwork and playing cool animations to make the page come alive. Even so, these features were extremely rudimentary. Clearly, there was room for improvement. So, in 2009, a young artist took it upon himself to create a webcomic that would revolutionize the space forever. Homestuck was created by Andrew Hussey and published on April 13, 2009, running until April 13, 2016. The story follows an almost entirely incoherent plot revolving around 4 teenagers who play a game called Spurb, which apparently created the universe, but then they use it to create a new universe, and they have to do a bunch of random things, and also fight someone called Lord English. Also, there's the trolls that gave their universe cancer or something. It's not entirely clear and doesn't make a lot of sense due to Andrew Hussey's unique writing style of never going back to see what the plot is and just writing based on memory. Andrew Hussey is known for many things, such as everything listed here. But hey, that's not important. What is important is how unique Homestuck is compared to other webcomics of the time. It included a save feature to secure your current spot in the comic and easily return to it when you want to read it again. A mix of traditional illustrations and animated GIFs to create an increased feeling of liveliness and motion. Interactive buttons that give the comic a feeling similar to old interactive read-along books. And most importantly for this video, 4 musical tracks that would play during certain sections, which help setting the tone and heightening the action. These musical tracks were contributed by a wealth of talented people, such as the late great George Buzinkai, Mark J. Hadley, Jeremy Lamery, Clark Powell, and most importantly of all, Robert F. Fox, otherwise known as Toby Fox, who, in 2015, released an RPG that irreparably changed the video game landscape forever. Undertale is an RPG released in 2015 by Toby Radiation Fox. Armed with his experience working on Homestuck and his previous project, the infamous Earthbound Halloween ROM hack, he set out to make his own game. After around 3 years of planning, Toby began development in 2011, working as a solo developer before eventually recruiting other people to work on the game. Most famously, the wonderfully talented artist Temmie Chang, in addition to guest designers, programming assistants, and a wealth of artists, most of which had previous experience in the webcomic space. After acquiring over $50,000 in funding through Kickstarter, the game would continue development up until its eventual release. Undertale is really special. It is a strong contender for most influential game of the decade, and without a doubt one of the top 3 most influential indie games ever released. To say Undertale made waves would be a laughable description. Undertale made typhoons. While these have calmed drastically, the legacy the game has carved into the video game industry is so big that it's unlikely to fade for probably centuries. Just the content made by fans is big enough to be discussed on its own. The biggest draw to Undertale, like most RPGs, is its story, and the morality system that changes the story based on your actions. In turn, the story will be my main focus, as the bulk of the game's content lies within the narrative. Also, just a quick apology in advance. Because Toby Fox is bad at his job, Undertale isn't compliant with OBS game capture, and has to be recorded through window capture. This means that gameplay can look a bit choppy or stutter at certain moments, so apologies. So, let's get started, shall we? Starting the game, we're treated to an opening cutscene telling us the story of the 2 races that once ruled the world, humans and monsters. While they were courteous to one another, one day a war broke out between them that resulted in the humans' victory. The humans sealed the monsters under Mount Ebert, Over the years, as monsters faded from human history, a legend would brew that those who climbed the mountain would never return. We watch our protagonist enter a cave in the mountain. They trip and fall down into a cavernous hole, beginning their tale in the underground. Oh, I get it! Cut to the title screen, it's time to name our fallen human. I'm gonna go with... Mingus. Yeah, that sounds about right. We wake up standing on a bed of golden flowers. With only one way to go, we make our way through the hallway and come face to face with a golden flower with a cheery smile. He introduces himself as Flowey the Flower. Seeing that we're new here, he takes it upon himself to teach us about the game's mechanics. A heart flashes on screen and we are taken into the battle menu. We have our HP, level, or as Flowey calls it, love, which we increase with EXP, and a white square with a heart we can control. This is your soul, the culmination of your being and the main way of interacting during combat. Flowey informs us on how to move our soul around, and that we need to collect these white friendliness pellets in order to increase our love. Let's try collecting some. Immediately our health drops to 1, and Flowey's friendly smile is replaced with a sadistic grin. As Flowey gets ready to deal the finishing blow, he lets us know that there is only one constant in life. In this world, it's either kill or be killed. A tall goat lady dressed in a ceremonial robe appears. She introduces herself as Toriel, and noting that we are the first human to fall down here in a long time, offers to guide us. Following behind her, we make our way to the first proper area of the game. The ruins are the tutorial area of the game. This place is designed to teach you exploration, environmental interaction, as well as proper combat basics. You're shown how to save, examples of puzzles that require interacting with objects or just walking, the importance of the Act menu to interact with monsters during combat, as well as the Mercy menu to spare monsters, independence so you can explore without relying on NPC direction, as well as shame to make you reflect on your choice of taking too much monster candy. Oh hey Toriel, what's up? I like butterscotch, thank you. Another thing... No, I don't dislike cinnamon, bye. Anyways, no I don't have allergies. Another thing the Ruins gets right is introducing you to the game's amazing dialogue. Toby Fox is great at writing really clever and witty dialogue, and this only gets more apparent as the game goes on. There's a rock you have to convince to move onto a switch and stay, a mouse in a hole with a table of cheese right outside, a bake sale run by spiders, and of course a good helping of funny monsters with wonderful dialogue boxes that can be triggered by using the Act menu in combat. One of these you meet is Napsterblook, a ghost sleeping on a pile of leaves. Well, not really, they're just saying Z over and over. This starts our first mini-boss. These are like regular monsters, but have much more unique attacks and win conditions. They're also not random, like most monsters. For Napsterblook, you have to... Oh, buddy, come on, man, don't beat yourself up like that. Oh, you want to show me something? Yo, that looks so cool! There he goes. Poor thing. I think one thing I should immediately get out of the way is the main gameplay of Undertale. If you absolutely do not care for the dialogue or story, then this game is so boring! Undertale is one of the most grueling games to replay from the start, as it feels like it's dragging for the first 2 or so hours. You have no way to increase your movement speed in the overworld, there's no way to easily get to any area for a while. Combat consists mostly of you spamming dialogue options, dodging attacks until you can press a mercy button, and the enemy- what the hell was that? And the enemy attacks are so uninteresting. This is something Toby improved immensely with his next game, but we're far from there yet. Anyways, rant over. Eventually you make it through the ruins and arrive at Toriel's house. The inside gives such a warm contrast to the harsh looking ruins outside. You're allowed to explore around the house. You can go into Toriel's room and read her diary, which has a skeleton pun highlighted in red. Odd. Look at the tsundere cactus, pass through the living room where Toriel is reading, look around the kitchen, and admire the big pie. And look yourself in the mirror. It's you! Eventually, you head to bed and wake up with a slice of pie in your room. Seems like it'll be handy later. Now you're all rested up, you should start working on getting out of the underground. Let's ask Toriel how to. Oh, you wanted to be a teacher? That's interesting, but how can I leave? Huh, why is she acting so weird? Hey, get back here! The music disappears, and we chase Toriel through the long hallway as she explains her plan to destroy the exit to the ruins and prevent anyone from ever leaving it again. She speaks of the humans that came before us, all of which met the same fate, dead at the hands of Asgore, the king of monsters. Despite this, we can't stay here forever. We have to leave, no matter what fate might befall us. So Toriel decides to give us a test, to prove that we're strong enough to survive down here. Toriel blocks the way. She hurls a relentless stream of fireballs in various patterns, showing us just how unpredictable attacks can be when a monster truly wants to hurt you. Yet, despite this, we don't fight her, and as she brings our health lower and lower, she can't bring herself to kill you. Her attacks deal less and less damage, and eventually start avoiding you entirely. Her expression changes, the sadness in knowing that she can't stop you from leaving taking a toll on her. Eventually the attacks subside and she switches to desperately pleading for us to stay. Eventually she comes to the realization that despite the dangers of the underground, the ruins are far too small for a child to grow up in. She lets us pass but tells us to never return. With one last hug, she says her goodbyes and walks off, taking one last look at us before leaving us for good. Flowey reappears, taunting us for being good to monsters and calling himself the Prince of the World's future. It's somewhat unclear what his plan is, but it has to do with us being here and something we possess. With a cackle, he disappears into the ground, and we are let free into the underground. The silence feels deafening. The seemingly endless snowy path stretches on and on. A mysterious figure appears and disappears without a trace. We come to a bridge, but stop just before we can cross. The mysterious figure reappears. So, this is Sans. Sans is a skeleton, and on first impressions you can already tell that he's not very work focused, and more focused on chilling out and making jokes. His attitude towards us is a stark contrast to Flowey from just before, and contradicts Toriel's statements that monsters in the underground will want to kill us. This doesn't mean that we're off the hook entirely, as Sans talks of his brother Papyrus, who is apparently desperate to capture a human. Hiding behind a conveniently shaped lamp, we're treated to an immensely humorous exchange between the two brothers. You immediately get a feel for their personalities and how well they contrast. Sans, the older brother who wants to relax and let the world go by, and Papyrus, the younger, impatient brother who's desperate to stake his claim in the world and capture a human to join the royal guard. You can feel the self-assured superiority radiating from Papyrus. Just from the way he talks, such as the use of the word boondoggle in place of more conventionally casual language, it's clear how highly he thinks of himself. Once he leaves, we make our way out, but Sans stops us. He asks us a favor to show ourselves to Papyrus, to cheer him up. While that would be usually a bad idea, Sans reassures us that he's not harmful despite his best efforts. Then he says he'll be up ahead, but walks the other direction? How strange. Anyways, let's just move up ahead and... How did you get there, Sans? The two brothers share another wonderfully comedic exchange before we can finally explore the rest of Snowdon. This area has a really chill and serene atmosphere. The endless rows of trees and blue snow— How did you get there, Sans? Make this place a treat to explore. Monster highlights include the Snowdrake, which you have to beat by laughing at his jokes, a Snowcap that you have to peel your eyes away from his sick hat, the Lesser Dog, who you have to pet and whose neck stretches infinitely, Gifrot, who keeps being mistaken for a Christmas tree and needs you to undecorate them, and Jerry, who you beat by just ditching him. There's also mini-bosses that you encounter. Doggo, a blind dog that introduces you to the blue attacks, which don't hurt you if you stay still, 2 married dogs in armor that do this, and the greater dog, who's actually just a small dog in armor. Throughout your exploration, Papyrus will stop you multiple times to play his puzzles. An invisible maze that he accidentally shows the path for, the Monster Kid's word search, but personally he thinks Junior Jumble is much harder. A plate of spaghetti so tantalizing that it's supposed to stop you, but he forgot to heat it up. 3-tile match puzzles where you have to make each one a circle without stepping on the same spot twice. A multicolored dance floor thing with each tile having different effects that breaks immediately. And a bridge of traps that Papyrus abandons for being too easy. Well, that's a shame. I really wanted to see what he had in store. What was that? Eventually we make it to the Snowden town, a vibrant little place full of things to see and do. There's the shop with the nice rabbit lady, an inn which seems to house only 2 rooms, one of which contain 3 odd gentlemen sleeping in a big bed that make this noise. Grillby's, which is a bar run by a flame elemental in a suit, the library, library, and the wolf chucking ice into the river. This place is... Oops, sorry, I'm getting a call, hold on. What? After exploring, we go to make our way to the next area, but our vision is consumed by a white fog, and we are stopped by Papyrus. He displays a lot of mixed emotions towards us. On one hand, he feels a great connection with us for solving his puzzles and eating his spaghetti, but he still feels that pull towards capturing us and fulfilling his dream. Powerful, popular, prestigious. That's what he feels like he has to be, and that's why he has to fight us. Papyrus uses the best attacks he can, but he doesn't account for the fact that we can just float right over them. That's when Papyrus pulls out his greatest trick. We're blue now. Undertale's major battle mechanics revolve around soul colors that determine how it functions during battle. When the soul is blue, that makes it affected by gravity, meaning you have to jump over attacks and move along the ground like a platformer. While Papyrus doesn't do much damage, his attacks can still trip you up, especially if you hesitate or don't fully commit to jumps. Near the battle's end, Papyrus readies his special attack, but it gets stolen by a dog, so he just decides to use a really cool regular attack. To his credit, the attack is really cool and perfectly matches his personality, ending in a massive jump over a frankly ginormous bone, and a subsequent really small bone. Out of pity, Papyrus decides to spare us, which hey, I'm not gonna say no to. Papyrus bemoans that he'll never be able to join the Royal Guard, and that he'll forever have no friends, to which we decide to be his friend. He grants us passage to the waterfall as thanks, and gives us our main objective for the rest of the game. Reach the King's castle and find the King of all monsters, who is apparently a big fuzzy pushover who will let us leave. See guys, Toriel was just overreacting, Asgore is fine. Papyrus takes his leave and... What the fuck? But before we go to the waterfall, we still need to have that date with Papyrus, apparently. I honestly forgot why. So, let's head over to his very strange house and up to his admittedly very cool room. Look, he even has a racing car bed. Do you? Anyways, the date starts and it basically goes like... After that, Papyrus confesses that despite his best efforts, he doesn't have feelings for us. Ultimately, he exposes that he doesn't really understand how emotions work. He's obviously stunted in these areas as a result of his general shelteredness and lack of true friendships. But despite this, he realizes that he doesn't need to date us to be around us. He makes a commitment to being our best friend and thankfully forgetting any of this happened. Now let's continue forward. The King's castle awaits. As we walk along the running water, all that can be heard is the echoes ringing through the cave. We come to a new room and... It's Sans again! What are you doing, buddy? Oh, you're going on break? Yeah, sure, I'll come. You know a shortcut? Wait, that's the wrong direction. How do we get here, Sans? Sitting down, Sitting down, we get a bit more insight into Papyrus as a character. It's clear as day that he's dedicated to his goals and will do anything to achieve them, even standing outside the head of the Royal Guard's house from midnight till morning. But Sans also has a question for us. Sans talks about the Echo Flower, which repeats whatever is said to them. Sans says that when no one is looking, one of these appears and seems to be trying to manipulate Papyrus by feeding him everything he wants to hear. Sans brushes this off as a harmless trick, but tells us to keep an eye on Papyrus regardless. Okay, break time over. Time to head to the waterfall for real. Waterfall is the longest area in Undertale. Its design is somewhat swampish with the docks and reeds sticking out of the water, but its bluish-purple colour palette gives it a mysterious cave feeling. There's the regular areas that have rock walls with crystals sticking out of them, the bright blue lake, the fields of grass illuminated by these mushrooms or crystals, and the area where stars shine through and monsters go to make their wishes. There's also the Temi village full of... Temi. What is this? Despite its overall length, something about the way it breaks itself up in visual appearance makes it feel much shorter to explore compared to every other area in the game. Back to the story, we walk along until we come across a tall grass patch. The camera pans up and we see Papyrus walking up to a knight with a long red ponytail. We overhear that the knight's name is Undyne. Given what Sans said about being taken under the captain's wing, we can confirm that this is the captain of the Royal Guard. Visually, you can see how much Papyrus wants to be like his master. Just in their designs, it shows a clear difference between cosplay and competence. We learn that Undyne wants our soul. For what is unclear, but Undyne's anger is not. Papyrus walks off, vowing to help Undyne however he can. Now let's just hope we can get out of here. That was way too close. We almost... Wait, isn't that the kid from Snowden? What is he doing? Oh! Are you okay? Yep, it seems fine. During our trip, we meet Aaron, the buff merman who we have to beat in a flex-off, Washua, who wants to clean everything, and Shiren, who's scared to sing but eventually does after some encouragement. Hey, why is this dock so dark? Oh shit! The chase is on. Undyne relentlessly chucks magical glowing spears towards us. There's not much space to move, and they shoot 3 at a time, with each going in a different direction. More tall grass! We try to hide in here, but it seems as though we've been cornered. Oh, thank God she grabbed the monster kid. Well, now she's gone, we can just move along and— How did you get here, Sans? We eventually come across a statue. If you go into the next room and give it an umbrella, it plays a small tune. The monster kid joins us again, and we walk along in the rain, gushing over how cool Undyne is, and revealing that she's a woman, as well as learning a little about Asgore, who so far seems to be nothing but good, at least to his people. In the distance we can see his castle, looming over the horizon as a reminder of our ultimate goal. With a helpful boost from Monster Kid, we get up onto this ledge, and he assures us he'll find another way through. Oh no, not another dark bridge. What's that? Another one? Oh no. Oh no. Ah! Once again, Undyne chases us, halting our movement with these ground spears. This time the path is more of a maze, challenging you to figure out the way through while avoiding Undyne's attacks. We find a dead end. All that lies below is darkness. Maybe we can find another way around to... Oh no. A bed of golden flowers. Wait, who was calling our name? There's no one around here. And that song. Probably best to keep moving. Oh hey look, another dummy. I'm sure that won't give us trouble. God damn it. This is the Mad Dummy, related to the dummy from the ruins who we apparently scared so much with our kind words that its spirit left its body. Mad Dummy isn't exactly happy with this and does the only logical thing. Murder. This fight isn't about talking to the Mad Dummy, but getting his minions to attack him. Eventually he gets so fed up with them that he replaces them with dummy robots, who are even worse at avoiding attacking him. With no options left, Mad Dummy takes out a knife and misses completely. Finally, the Mad Dummy is stopped by some acid rain. Hey wait, that looks familiar. Napster Bluke! That guy really needs more friends. We can hang out with him at his house, listen to his amazing music, try to eat a ghost sandwich, as well as, Well, that was fun. Later, dude. Oh, hey, look, a shop run by a turtle dude. He's been around for a long time. He's old. Talking to him, we can learn more about the history of the underground. There's an emblem on the wall which matches the one on Toriel's robe. It's called the Delta Rune, and apparently the symbol of the kingdom. Its meaning has been lost to history, but at most we can glean that the triangles represent monsters and the figure above represents an angel from a prophecy that descends from the surface to free the monsters. It could also mean an angel of death, descending to the underground to free the monsters from the mortal realm. We also learn about Undyne and how she fought hard and long to become the head of the Royal Guard. She's one of the strongest monsters in the underground, and she's looking for us. Eventually we come across a lone echo flower. Undyne has us cornered. She begins speaking of 7 human souls. These souls are needed to break the barrier so that Asgore Dreamer can take the surface from humanity, ruling it as a god with their power. Undyne has no patience for negotiation and makes her approach. Oh hey Monster Kid, bad time. Poor kid. Let's get out of here while she's distracted. Moving across a bridge, Monster Kid reappears. He tells us that Undyne told him that we're human. He wants to hate us, but we refuse to be mean to him, so he just decides to go home, before tripping and hanging off the edge of the bridge. Undyne reappears, but we help him up despite the dangerous circumstances, and he thanks us by defending us from Undyne's approach. Monster Kid says we'll be friends and goes home to his parents' house. Coming to a large mountain-like rock formation, we look up and see Undyne standing proudly looking over the next area. Once again, she talks of the 7 human souls. She tells us that they currently have 6, and we are the final one needed to escape. But before she does, she must tell us the history of the monsters. But she decides not to. Oh my god, she's a fish! You can feel the passion bleeding from each word she speaks as she chastises us for standing in the way of everyone's hopes and dreams. Wait, who's Alphys? Giant robots and flowery swordsmen? Wait, does Undyne think manga is real? Undyne continues to chastise us for our kindness towards monsters. She challenges us to take a step forward and begin the battle of the ages. This fight is intense. We're introduced to a new soul mode, Green. This makes it impossible for us to run from a fight and makes us defend ourselves from projectiles head-on like a warrior. As the fight continues, the spears fly from more directions faster and faster, all while Undyne gives a passionate speech about monsters and their desired escape from the underground. She switches up our soul mode back to red, hitting us with various new attacks. Since words aren't going to get through to her, let's just run instead. Well, that was short-lived. Now she's introducing yellow arrows, which approach from one direction but switch to the opposite to trip you up. We're switched again. Time to escape. Papyrus, now is not the time. We managed to... Oh hey Sans. We managed to make it to the next area, Hotland. As the name suggests, it's incredibly hot, and Undyne, a fish in a suit of metal armor, can't deal with it, collapsing on the floor. Thankfully there's a water cooler nearby, and we can pour some onto her to get her back up. She doesn't really know what to say, seemingly confused by our decision. She walks away without saying a word. Now we could just move on to the next area, but that phone call from Papyrus did say we could hang out with him and her. Maybe we could come to some sort of truce. Worth a shot, I suppose. Though her house is a long distance away. I wonder if there's someone who can help us. Oh look, a strange man on a boat. Ooh, you can take me to Snowdon and Waterfall? That's just wonderful, I'd love to go to Waterfall. Thank you. Anything interesting to say to pass the time? Beware of the man who came from the other world. Okay, thank you for the ride. Returning to the Waterfall town, we go up to Undyne's very fish-shaped house where Papyrus is waiting for us. Undyne, upon seeing us, isn't too thrilled about having to be hospitable to the literal child that beat her a few moments ago, but she lets us in regardless. Papyrus, sensing an opportunity for us to be alone, goes to the bathroom. Undyne clearly isn't up for this, still seeing us as the enemy. Thankfully, Papyrus chimes in with one of the smartest moves he's ever made, playing on Undyne's sense of pride and accomplishment by framing being friends with us as a challenge. Immediately her tune is changed, and she vows that not only will we be friends, but best friends. Undyne's house is nice and cozy, with a few interactable objects that Undyne talks about, like the giant sword in which she talks about how in human history humans wielded swords 10 times our size, and asks for us to confirm. Yes, Undyne, I remember that part in history class where we were taught how Griffith sacrificed the band of the hawk to the god hand. Also, she keeps talking about this Alphys character. I wonder what that's about. Would I like something to drink? Oh, sure, Jesus! Okay, I'll have some tea. You can really get a sense that Undyne is completely on edge. To not only have the enemy of your people in your house, but bound by your own sense of pride to remain courtful with them must be agonizing. Though slowly she does open up. She talks about her experience trying to join the Royal Guard, challenging Asgore to a fight as a mere child and failing miserably, even when he didn't fight back. But seeing the determination she had, he took her under his wing and trained her into the warrior she is today. Looking at her like this, she's really not that different from Papyrus, a young scrappy underdog who wants to make it big, and is willing to do anything to achieve it. Though, even despite this similarity, Undyne knows Papyrus isn't a fighter. She wouldn't ever send someone like him into a real fight, hence why she sent him to get us. So, as a substitute, she started teaching him how to cook, to hopefully instill with him a new passion that he can chase in life. Wait, wasn't he supposed to have a lesson? Wait, what? Ah, what's going on? Oh god, not the tea, not the soda. Ah! What, you want me to punch vegetables? Okay. Oh my god, what the hell? Where did that pot come from? You want me to stir it? Okay, I'm stirring as fast as I can. Oh god, not the pot. Why are you doing this? Turn up the heat? That's not very safe, but okay. Turning. Oh god, why are there flames? Oh god, the flames are getting bigger. This is an induction stove. How are there flames? Oh my god, it's burning up! Despite her best efforts, Undyne realizes we can't be friends. You can't just force someone to like you and expect to get along. That's not how life works. Because maybe instead of being someone's friend, you can kill them instead. What? Huh? I guess I'll fight. I don't know. Seeing that we truly don't wield the capacity to hurt her, she lays down her spear. Undyne sees a lot of Asgore in us, from the tea we drink to the way we fight, and that respect for him bleeds through us as well. We're a wimpy loser with a big heart. Knowing this, Undyne lets us know that Asgore, much like us, doesn't want to fight. His fighting is just a result of circumstance, and maybe if we talk to him, we can work something out. Though she promises us that if we do fight Asgore, she'll cross the barrier and kick our ass. Truly the mark of friendship. Deciding to go crash at Papyrus's place, she heads off. With one last sad look at her burning house, we can now make our way to the Hotlands. Hey boatman, take me to Hotland. Beware of the man that's... Okay, thank you. With the royal guards blocking the main entry to the rest of Hotland, we're forced to take a detour and go through the lab. Heading inside, we're confronted with a video recording on a big monitor. It's you? Has someone been watching us this whole time? Who could have possibly been doing that? A woman in a lab coat appears flustered at our arrival, clearly not expecting us. Her name is Dr. Alphys, Asgore's royal scientist and the same person Undine was talking about earlier. She tells us she's not one of the bad guys and actually wants to help us after watching us throughout our adventure so far. She'll act as our guide through Hotland so we can make our way to Asgore's castle with no issue. Except for one. Long ago she made a robot called Metaton. While initially built to be an entertainer, Alphys equipped him with anti-human combat features. Despite her efforts to remove them, Metaton now possesses an intense desire to kill any and all humans he sees. But it's not like we're gonna run into him anytime soon. Ah shit. This is Metaton. We actually saw him during one of Papyrus's puzzles, though he's much more lively than last time. He forces us to take part in his game show, and there's only one rule. Answer correctly, or you die. With the only option at our disposal being to cry, we have to play his quiz show. This is much easier than you'd think thanks to Alphys giving us the answers using her hands. During one question about a dating sim, Alphys can't contain herself, recounting an entire chapter of the game in detail, causing Metaton to get suspicious of her helping us. So she decides to give us a question that she'll definitely know. Who does Alphys have a crush on? How am I supposed to know that? I just met her... Wait. Is that it? Huh. Interesting. Seeing that the show has no dramatic tension, Metaton leaves for now. Before we head out, Alphys upgrades our phone and adds us on social media to easily communicate with us. Walking out, oh my god, outfit! Walking out of the lab, we are let free into the rest of Hotland. The reddish-brown floor provides us a safe path to walk above the burning hot magma below. The area carries a heavy industrial vibe. Each area acts as a mini puzzle room as you traverse over these conveyor belts, jetting air vents, moving block shooter puzzles, and lasers that block your path. These lasers come in blue and orange. Blue lasers work the same as blue attacks. Stay still and they won't hurt you. The orange ones, however, are a new kind of attack which you have to move through to avoid damage. If it's blue, stay put. If it's orange, move your foot. Got it? There's a lot of cool monsters to encounter. Vulcan, the huggable volcano. Sunderplane, the tsundere airplane. I'm not going to explain it, do it on your own time. Pyrope, who wants to increase the heat and makes this happen to the UI. And the two royal guards from before. Oh, also Heat's Flamesman. He's cool. Hotland is broken up into 3 parts, separated by encounters with Metaton. The first is a cooking show in which you race into the sky using a jetpack and dodging his attacks. The second is a news report turned bomb defusal challenge in which you defuse various bombs with their own unique properties. And before the final encounter, you come across this spider lady selling pastries just like the one in the ruins, except the prices here are far more extortionate. We continue moving ahead and one thing you've definitely noticed throughout is that Alphys is a constant annoying presence throughout this section. Often to your own detriment, she will call you, causing your movement and ability to interact with the environment lock up completely. It's obvious she's desperate to create connections with people and doesn't really understand social boundaries. As I was saying before, we continue moving ahead, eventually coming to a bright purple building, reminiscent of the ruins at the start. The smell of cobwebs fills the air. A voice rings out, taunting us as we attempt to make our way through. Our movements slow as we trudge through the webs, before eventually coming to a complete stop. The spider lady, Miss Muffet, reappears, chastising us for not purchasing her pastries, and starting combat with us. We struggle to escape the webs, but it's no use. Muffet uses her poison to turn our soul purple. This soul mode restricts us to these purple lines, which we can vertically jump between and freely move horizontally on, severely limiting our ability to move and dodge. She sends her spiders and pastries to attack us, changing up their pattern to trip us up. She also calls her massive spider muffin to chase us up a series of purple lines that we ascend like a ladder. She talks about someone who asked her to retrieve our soul and offered her a lot of money for it. This battle goes on for a bit before one of our spiders hands her a telegram from the spiders in the ruins saying we donated to their cause. She lets us go, saying that whoever offered them money for the soul must have meant someone else. But who put this hit out on us? Leaving the spider den, we come to our third Metaton encounter, starting with this Romeo and Juliet style musical number before throwing us into a puzzle room in which there's a multicolored dance floor thing with, hey wait a minute, we already did this! Except this time it actually works. Despite our best efforts, we run out of time and fiery walls close in on us. But not enough to kill us because Alphys hacked into it and disabled it. Despite this, Metaton isn't satisfied with this simply being over and attacks us. We don't really have a means of fighting him, and he's not going to listen to reason, so everything looks bleak. Thankfully, Alphys calls and tells us to press the yellow button on our phone. I wonder what that does. Okay, Alphys, you're cool in my books. This button turns our soul yellow. This flips it upside down and basically turns it into a Gallagher ship that can shoot projectiles with full freedom of movement. After Metaton retreats, we talk to Alphys. We thank her for her efforts, and she talks about how we've boosted her confidence and self-worth as a result of helping us. We're almost to the core, just past the MTT resort. Before heading in, you can go around the side and find Brady and Caddy, who can sell you some stuff they found in the garbage, like a cowboy hat, gun, or a key. Inside, there's a water fountain that's spilling on the floor, the reception area, rooms where you can, this. Metaton branded burger emporium, and the fine dining restaurant. Out the front, you can find Sans and go to dinner with him at the restaurant before continuing our adventure. Sure, why not? A little break is alright. How did we get here, Sans? Sans talks about the journey we've made thus far and our desire to return home, something he apparently knows the feeling of? Despite this, Sans says that maybe it's not worth leaving the underground. You already have everything down here. Why would you need to leave? Despite this, he still roots for us like a good friend. Suddenly, the conversation takes an odd turn. Sans tells us the story of one of his sentry shifts in Snowden Forest. Bored from having to watch for humans, he entertains himself with a massive locked door at the forest edge by practicing knock-knock jokes. One day, he says knock-knock, and to his surprise, a woman's voice calls out, "Who's there?" He completes his joke and the woman laughs like it's her first one in a century. He keeps telling her jokes until eventually she responds with her own, managing to impress Sans. This goes on for hours until Sans had to leave. Then they repeated this day after day after day. Then one day, something about her seemed off, not laughing as much as usual. When questioned, she says, "If a human ever comes through this door, could you please promise me something? Watch over them and protect them, will you not?" Despite Sans's aversion to making promises, and not even knowing her name, he recognizes her integrity is too strong to say no to. This is all to say that, if she had never said anything, for just a moment, the joking mask that Sans puts up slips. He's clearly more than what he appears to be. What is his deal? How does he know what the desire to return home is? Isn't his home in Snowden? Yeah, maybe that's what he means. He probably doesn't like working and just wants to return to his house, right? Right? The tension subsides as Sans lets us know that he's joking. Besides, he's done a great job at protecting us. It's not like we've died before, right? In this playthrough, I actually didn't die up to this point, so this is accurate, but usually first-time players would die a lot. With one last chuckle, Sans leaves and says to take care, because someone really cares about us. We begin our walk across the bridge. Two shadowy figures loom in the distance and disappear. With the elevator to the capital broken, our only way to get to Asgore is through the core. We head in and try to use the core elevator, but it's not working. We enter a room only to be ambushed. The monsters in the core are the strongest we've encountered thus far. The tricky Magic, whose orbs must be incapacitated, Night Knight, a fierce warrior that's put to sleep by an old lullaby, and the three powered versions of monsters from the ruins, Astigmatism, Whimsalot, and Final Frogget. With that encounter over, Alphys seems perplexed by the amount of monsters here, but seems to be hiding something from us. This area features some of the same puzzles from Hotland, like the lasers and block puzzles. At a bridge with a laser puzzle, Alphys gives us the incorrect order for the lasers, and another one she tries turning the power off for the lasers, but they keep turning back on. Suddenly, in the next room she says she has to go, and we are left to explore the rest of the core. Visually, this area is the most unique out of all of them. The bright blues and reds make this area pop out, and there's tons of cool visual details, like the ice the wolf in Snowden was throwing ending up here to cool the giant machine. Sadly, this area is the shortest area in the game, and we finally get to the end. All we have to do is get in here and goddammit, Mettaton reappears, ready for the final showdown. But before we can fight, he reveals that this whole time, the malfunctioning robot thing was a lie. Alphys has been hindering us this entire time, reactivating puzzles, disabling elevators, and sending Mettaton to torment us. She was doing this the whole time just so she could be our savior. Mettaton lets us know that she's outside the room right now waiting to save us from him. But Mettaton, being the star he is, has grown bored of the scripted charade. He doesn't actually want to harm humans, only to entertain the people of the underground. Mettaton locks the door, trapping Alphys outside so he can't be interrupted. The stage lifts high into the air. Mettaton calls out to the underground, promising them a finale for the ages. Real drama, real action, and of course, real bloodshed. We try our best to shoot through his shell, but our bullets bounce right off. And based on his words, it seems like he was acting the last time we tried this. We're able to use our soul to destroy these blocks and retract these arms, but we can't do anything to directly damage him. Mettaton reveals his plan to take our soul so that humanity can be spared from Asgore, using it instead to cross the barrier and become a star in the human world. With this fight going nowhere, we receive a call from Alphys urging us to get Mettaton to turn around so we can hit a switch on his back. We flip the switch and... the true fight begins. The goal of this fight is to raise our popularity as well as the TV ratings for the fight. We can strike a pose, boast that we won't get hit this turn, or even make the audience root for our destruction. You can also eat on-brand foods like the Glam Burger for a big boost in ratings. There's a multitude of attacks to avoid, like moving legs that can be stopped with a shot, cross bombs that create a cross-shaped explosion when hit, mini Mettatons that send out hearts, a disco ball with blue and white beams that can be shot to swap them, and his heart, which shoots out bolts of lightning but must be shot at in order to progress the fight. As you progress the fight, his arms and legs gradually fall off. He'll also start rewinding his attacks, requiring you to take the reverse path of where you moved in order to not get hit. Mettaton becomes angry with us, asking if we truly want to see humanity perish to Asgore, or if we truly believe that we can stop him. With all his limbs gone, ratings through the roof, and a viewer call-in milestone reach, Mettaton picks a lucky viewer to call in before he leaves the underground forever. Ooh, I wonder who it'll be. Wait, that's Napsterblue, and Mettaton seems to know him, but how? Well, remember that key Bratty and Caddy were selling? That's a key to a locked house next to Napsterblue's house, Mettaton's house. Inside are a series of 6 diaries, each containing a passage in each. These give us crucial insight into Mettaton and why they exist. The first diary talks about the monster Shiren's sister, who died, causing her to become reclusive, like how we find her in the waterfall. Mettaton says that she, her cousin Napsterblue, and Shiren should perform together. The other diaries discuss her love of collecting diaries and a desire to find a body so that she can become corporeal. We even learn that either the mad dummy or the dummy from the ruins is also related to Mettaton and Napsterblue. Eventually, Mettaton met Alphys, and through bonding over their fascination with humans, designed a body for Mettaton to become a physical being. After Napsterblue hangs up, Mettaton decides to take more callers. Overwhelming support flows through the line, expressing their gratitude for all he's done and how much they love his show. Hearing all this support, Mettaton changes his mind, vowing to stay in the underground as the monster's idol, reasoning that the humans have enough idols to look towards, but monsters only have one. He recognizes our strength during the battle, saying we might even be strong enough to beat Asgore and protect humanity, just like he would want. With one last knock him dead and a farewell to the audience, Mettaton powers off. Alphys finally manages to get in the room, worried for Mettaton's safety, but thankfully he's mostly intact. She's acting strange. We continue up ahead. Alphys keeps talking like she wants to say something, but can't, until eventually she can't take it anymore. She tells us that a human soul alone isn't strong enough to pass through the barrier. A monster soul is also required. If we want to go home, we have to kill Asgore. The elevator feels longer than usual. Silence fills the area. The once vibrant colors are now replaced with an ominous grey. In the distance, a large city of colorless buildings stretches on, lifeless and empty. Moving up a hallway, we come to a familiar scene, a house with flowers out the front. But something is missing. The interior is much the same, familiar, reminiscent, but hollow and lifeless. It's here we learn the story of the first fallen human. A long time ago, they fell down here. Injured and calling for help, Asriel, the prince of the underground, heard the humans' call and brought them to the castle. Over time, Asriel and the human became the best of friends, taken in as the king and queen's child and filling the underground with hope. But one day, the human became ill. Their final wish was to see the flowers from their village. Sadly, the human died the next day. Asriel absorbed the human's soul, transforming into a being of great power. Asriel crossed the barrier, taking the human back to their village. Reaching the village center, he found a bed of golden flowers and placed the human onto it. Screams rang. The humans thought Asriel had killed the child. They attacked Asriel with everything they had. Despite having the power to destroy them all, he never raised his hand against any of them. Arriving home wounded, his body collapsed, crumbling to dust and spreading across the garden. Despair swept the kingdom. Once again, humans had taken everything from the monsters. The king declared that every human that falls down here must be killed. With enough souls, he can shatter the barrier for good. It's not long now. King Asgore will let them go, give them hope, save them all. You should be smiling too. Aren't you excited? Aren't you happy? You're going to be free. No matter what happens next, despite everything, it's still you. Your judgment has come. The end of your journey is at hand. Soon you will meet the king and decide the fate of not just the underground, but the world. Sand stands before you, to judge your every action you've taken throughout your adventure. It's here we learn two crucial pieces of information. EXP, which is used to increase our level, is an acronym for execution points, a measure of how much pain you've inflicted onto others. Our level, or love as it's called, is an acronym too, for level of violence, a way to measure someone's capacity to hurt. But you never gained love. Even if you weren't the greatest person, you always did right by people in the end. Despite the numerous hardships in your way, you still strived to do the right thing. You never gained love, but you gained love. It's finally time for the confrontation with Asgore. Either humanity falls or we leave. As long as we follow our heart, we'll know what's best. Because we have something special. Determination. They're all counting on you. We're finally here, the throne room. But what's this room off to the side? A room filled with coffins. The humans that came before. And one is ready for us. Let's get this over with. The king stands mightily over his bed of flowers, singing a wistful tune as he tends to them. He turns around, and he looks stunned. He seems a bit lost for what to say despite having done this 6 times before. He would rather offer us a cup of tea, but given the circumstances, it wouldn't be appropriate. It's clear Asgore has a lot of love, but not much love. He tries to delay this as much as he can, talking about the weather and nature's beauty. Neither of us really want to do this. We see his throne surrounded by flowers and another covered by a white sheet. We head into the next room. Asgore keeps trying to lighten the conversation, comparing this feeling of tension like a dentist appointment. Once again he asks if we're ready. He isn't ready either. This is our last chance to finish up anything we haven't done and get any supplies we need for the final battle. One last time we go back through the underground, gathering items from vendors before making our way back to the castle. It's somber knowing we'll never see this place again. Now we're finally ready. This is the end. A white rectangular void stretches endlessly into the horizon. This is the barrier, the thing that keeps monsters trapped underground. For the final time, Asgore asks us to complete any unfinished business we have left. But we're ready now. While it might seem hopeful that we could talk this out, when the fate of your people is on the line, there's no room for mercy. Asgore stands tall and mighty. All his emotion has been replaced with a stoic gaze as he readies himself to fight. His attacks come fast and hit hard. They feel familiar. He swings his spear at us, telegraphing which swings are blue and orange with a flash in his eyes. We were saving Toriel's pie until it was necessary, and now is a good time. But strangely, the smell seems to remind Asgore of something, and both Asgore's attack and defense drop. Despite this, the fight is still tough. Large swaths of fireballs fill the screen, and his swings only get faster and more unpredictable. But even as he gets faster, our attacks get stronger and stronger, and eventually... we did it. We beat Asgore. He reminisces on his son's death, the feeling of seeing the underground lose hope, and the rage towards humanity. He would take their souls to become a god, and free his people forever, and wipe out humanity. Despite giving his kingdom hope, his wife was disgusted at the idea, leaving forever, never to be seen again. Asgore doesn't want power or to harm anyone. He just wants his kingdom to be happy, to see his wife and child. He urges us to take his soul, leave the underground and end this war forever. While it would make sense to just kill him and leave, we know better. We know what's right. We have love, not love. Asgore promises that he and his wife will take care of us, sitting in the living room, eating butterscotch pie. Like a family. But that's too good to be true. In an instant, Asgore is turned to dust, his soul shattered in half by a little white friendliness pellet. Flowey re-emerges. It seems we still haven't learned a thing. In this world, it's kill or be killed. Starting the game, we're treated to an opening cutscene telling us the story of the two races that once ruled the world, humans and monsters. We awake in an empty black void. No sound, no monsters, just us. With nowhere to go, we head forward and find a save point. But we're not in control anymore. Flowey re-emerges, thanking us for weakening Asgore and taunting us with his death. He expresses great excitement and elation at the feeling of having a soul again, feeling them wriggling inside of him. But Flowey isn't done yet. He still needs our soul, and when he gets it, monsters, humans, everyone will know the real meaning of this world. We can't even escape this by loading an old save. Flowey deleted it, and will make a save over our deaths so we can be killed over and over and over again. Despite this threat, we step forward to fight him. Flowey laughs at the notion, and we begin our battle with Omega Flowey. The hideous mass of vines, organs, and machines makes his presence known. He sends out a multitude of near undodgeable attacks. We try to attack him, but our attacks do next to nothing. Eventually, the attacks get so overwhelming that booting up the game again, Flowey taunts us some more. He's not satisfied with killing us once. Suddenly, a warning flashes on screen for the Cyan Soul. Screen fills with spinning knives. The act button appears, and we use it to call for help. The knives turn to bandages. Maybe we can beat Flowey. Even if we can beat him, Flowey doesn't make it easy. He sends out so many attacks and even reloads us to a previous point to trip us up and get a free hit. We slowly but surely make our way through each of the human souls. Their attacks resembling a part of who the human that it inhabited was, as well as the various weapons and armor you could find throughout the game. Suddenly, the souls appear together. They heal us back up so we can continue the fight, and Flowey's defense has dropped to 0. We got him! See everyone? Anything is possible if you work in a team. Ah, crap. Flowey has us beat. He taunts our efforts to fight back, egging us on to call for help. We call for help. But nobody came. What? The souls reject Flowey, removing his powers and fighting back. Flowey sits alone in the darkness, beaten and broken. We can destroy him or spare him. While it would make sense to kill him for everything he's done to us, we know better. He continues to taunt us, promising to kill us and everyone we know. But we're not afraid, and Flowey can't understand that. He can't understand. He just can't understand. Flowey runs away. With the battle finally over, we take our final steps and leave the underground for good. End credits. We get a voice message. It's from Sans! He notes that some time has passed. In that time, the Queen returned and is ruling over the underground, with a new rule to treat humans that fall down here as friends, not enemies. The human souls have all vanished, making the future for monsterkind even bleaker. But he lets us know that they're not going to stop trying, and someday they will break free. Papyrus makes an appearance, letting us know that he's the captain of the Royal Guard now, though his duties consist of watering rather than fighting, as well as helping Dr. Alphys with her research into the barrier. Undyne is also helping, and she gets on the phone too. She lets us know that she and all the other knights in the Royal Guard have disbanded, since fighting isn't required anymore. She's also become a gym teacher at the Queen's new school. She also laments the death of Asgore, but doesn't blame us given the circumstances we were faced with. She also tells us that Alphys has become more reclusive since we left. Something is bothering her, but it's not clear what. Undyne tells us to try to be happy, knowing that makes the sacrifice worth it. Everyone is with us. Even the Queen, who is... Toriel! The phone's running out of battery. Sans, Papyrus, and Undyne all say their goodbyes, and the voice message ends. Flowey re-emerges. He remains confused with our actions, noting that despite all the good we've done and friends we've made, we'll never see any of them again. Not to mention how much they've been set back from freedom. If we just went through without caring, we wouldn't have to feel this way. If this is the correct thing, then why did it end up like this? Then Flowey gives us a proposition, a way to get a better ending. Load our save file and maybe go to Dr. Alphys. We never got as good of a conclusion with her as we could have, so maybe that's the key. We start back just before the end. We make our way back through the castle and through the core when we receive a call from Undyne, asking us to deliver something for her. We head to Snowdon and find her in front of Papyrus's house, cause, you know, her house is... crispy. She hands us a letter and asks us to deliver it to Dr. Alphys. She seems very protective of it, I don't know why. We arrive at the lab, and since there's no slot for mail, we just slide it under and give it a knock. After opening it with what I can only assume is a laser, Alphys opens the door. Wait, what? No, I didn't write this. Why the hell didn't Undyne sign her own letter? Wrote what way? What? So reluctantly, we start... Wait, hold on. Please don't give me any items. I don't even wear armor. I don't have scales. Magical spears, what? These feel very familiar. Seeing that this date is awkward, Alphys takes us to the best place possible. The garbage dump. She's talking a lot about Undyne, weirdly. Wait, Undyne is here? Why? Damn, sick outfit, Undyne. Wait, bad idea? But you told me to deliver it! You should have done that from the start! Once Undyne leaves, Alphys admits that she really likes her. Oh! They're Lebanese. Alphys's lack of self-confidence really shines through here, showing how little she thinks of herself and all the apparent harm she's done to other people. Despite what she thinks, we tell her to tell Undyne the truth, even if she thinks it's a bad idea. So we decide to practice and... Oh god, Alphys, have some self-control. Oh, thank god Undyne is here. Please explain this, Alphys. You stupid mother... Eventually, through mumbled words, Alphys eventually airs everything out. Her feelings to Undyne and the lies that she told her. Oh, what a sweet moment. Yes, thank you, Undyne. It's here we learn what Undyne truly cares about in a person. Regardless of what it is, she can appreciate the passion someone puts into it, 100% at maximum power. Undyne wants her to stop lying, and vows to help train her to become better. Well, actually, Undyne isn't going to train her. But who could possibly... Well, I'm glad that's over. Huh? Yeah, anime is totally real. Okay, bye. Worst date ever. Let's just get out of here. Oh? A phone call? It's from Papyrus. Apparently Alphys left early and he wants us to go check on her. He seems nervous. That was weird. I guess it can't hurt to go there. Making our way back to the lab, we head inside. The door to the restroom now opens, and in front of it is a note from Alphys. Hey, thanks for your help back there. You guys Your support really means a lot to me. But, as difficult as it is to say this, you guys alone can't magically make my own problems go away. I want to be a better person. I don't want to be afraid anymore. And for that to happen, I have to be able to face my own mistakes. I'm gonna start doing that now. I want to be clear, this isn't anyone else's problem but mine. But if you don't ever hear from me again, if you want to know the truth, enter the door to the north of this note. You will at least deserve to know what I did. Entering the door, we come to an elevator. Only one way to go. Oh shit. The heart of Alphys's work. With no way back up, we'll have to explore this place to find a way out. The true lab feels uniquely cold. The walls and floors are caked in a greenish-blue texture. Fog fills certain rooms. Dead plants are dotted throughout. It feels haunting and lifeless. Our goal is to find 4 keys to open a main door and hopefully escape this place. Dotted throughout the lab are these screens that contain lab entries, detailing what Dr. Alphys was doing down here. In short, Dr. Alphys was tasked by Asgore to extract the power of the soul in order to break the barrier. Since she doesn't have a surplus of humans at her disposal, she has to resort to using the souls of monsters. But this is impractical due to the immense power required, as well as the fact that monster souls don't persist after death, unlike human ones. Alphys makes a breakthrough by extracting a power from the human souls. The will to keep living, the resolve to change fate. Determination. Asgore requested that the bodies of dead monsters be brought to the lab, so that Alphys can try injecting determination into them to see if their souls persist after death. But a monster cannot absorb the soul of another monster, meaning she'll have to find a vessel that is neither monster or human. For a while, none of the bodies turned to dust, meaning no souls could be harvested. But eventually, they opened their eyes. Well, even though it was a dead end, at least she got a happy ending out of it. Right? These are amalgamates, horrifically congealed monsters that have melted into a mess of bodies and consciousnesses. Their attacks are similarly erratic and confused, often looking like their attacks are causing immense strain on them. But hey, they're not all bad. If you lie in this bed, this friendly looking spoon thing will tuck you in. Aw, that's nice. This amalgamate is just a mixture of different dog monsters. If you pet him enough, he becomes happy. What a friendly smile. There's also that one. In one of these rooms you can find a TV with VHS tapes that Alphys found by snooping around the castle. Watching them we get some insight into the happy days of the Dreamer royal family. We see Toriel's excitement of becoming a mother, some actual dialogue from the Prince of the Underground, as well as... us? That can't be right. We definitely didn't exist back then, and we don't know the prince. If we did, Asgore wouldn't attack us, and we'd probably already be dead timeline-wise. The tapes show how the first human died. They discovered through a recipe mistake that buttercup flowers are poisonous. The first human then purposely poisons themselves, so the prince can take their soul and escape the underground, gathering 6 souls from the human world to break the barrier. As we know, this didn't go to plan. Eventually, we managed to grab all the keys and make our way back to the generator. What a very interesting button it has. Suddenly, we're cornered. Amalgamates block our path, when suddenly, Alphys returns! The amalgamates leave, and Alphys explains that she also came down here to turn the power back on, and that she was worried she might not come back. Not because of the amalgamates, but because she was worried she might do something... cowardly. She goes on to explain basically what we've already seen. The monsters melted together, and fearing what people might say, she avoided talking about it. But now she vows to tell everyone what she's done, even if it's difficult. With a final thanks, we're free to leave, but not before these screens turn back on. It seems Alphys found a candidate for a host that is neither human nor monster. In the center of the king's garden, the one from the outside world that grew before all the others. A flower. The flower's gone. The elevator is covered in vines. There's no going back now. It's time to finish this. We make our way back through the castle, across the judgment hallway, past the king's throne room, and into the barrier. A white rectangular void stretches endlessly into the horizon. This is the barrier, the thing that keeps monsters trapped underground. For the final time, Asgore asks us to complete any unfinished business we have left, but we're ready now. While it might seem hopeful that we could talk this out, when the fate of your people is on the line, there's always another option. Toriel reemerges, defending us from Asgore. Despite her reluctant choice to give us freedom, she held on to her worries, and ultimately, she couldn't let us carry the burden of killing Asgore. Toriel scolds Asgore for his inaction, telling him he could have gotten one soul and left to get the rest from the humans. The same plan the prince and the first human had. Instead, he chose to stay here. Undyne appears, wanting to stop the fighting. Alphys too, and Papyrus, and Sans. Toriel recognizes Sans' voice as the man from behind the door telling her knock-knock jokes, and vice versa. Poor Asgore. Toriel congratulates us on all the friends we've made. Looks like we won't be leaving the underground after all. Maybe that's okay. Wait, Papyrus called everyone here? How did he know how to do that? Oh no. Flowey re-emerges, all our friends bound by his vines. Not only does Flowey have all of the human souls, but soon the souls of all our friends too, and will soon achieve his true form. Flowey tells us that this is all a game. If we leave, then we'll win the game, and he can't play with us anymore. But if we can't leave, then he'll repeat this over and over and over again. Flowey gives us a deal. If we can beat him, he'll bring all our friends back and destroy the barrier. But that won't happen. He's gonna keep us here, even if it means killing us 1,000,000 times. Toriel blocks Flowey's attack. No matter how many attacks Flowey throws at us, our friends block them. All of the monsters of the underground, all the friends we've made along our journey come together to give us support. But it's in vain. The Prince of the Underground has returned. His power radiates throughout the battle. We're no longer fighting a monster, we're fighting a god. Stars rain down from above, pillars of lightning violently crash into the ground, opulent swords slash at our very soul, and endless projectiles are shot at us. Asriel has abandoned his desire to destroy the world. He wants total control over the timeline, so we can reset everything to zero and repeat it again and again and again. All we can do is hope and dream, reducing the damage he does to us and giving us dreams to heal ourselves with. Even when we die, we're so full of determination that we come right back. He uses a large goat skull called the Hypergona to try and get rid of us, but despite that, we continue on. Asriel gloats that he's only been using a fraction of his power. Now he's using everything he's got. Asriel reappears, taking on the appearance of a large winged beast, similar to the Angel of Legend on the Delta rune. He sends out an enormous stream of projectiles from his fingertips that are near impossible to avoid. Our physical body can't move, we can only struggle as we are forced to endure these relentless attacks. Every time he kills us, slowly, we and everyone we know starts forgetting everything, who we are, what we've done. We struggle more and more. We eventually try reaching our save file, but to no avail. It seems the game can't be saved. But maybe we can save something else, or rather, someone else. We reach out into Asriel's soul, looking for our friends. Something resonates within and they appear before us. Faceless, they now resemble a husk of who they were, but maybe we can change that. We remind them of who they are, who they love, and why we're their friend. Eventually, all the memories flood back. One by one, we save all our friends. But even when we do, there's still something else. Or someone else. Asriel. We reach out for him, again and again. He tries to fight against it, but it's clear that something inside of him is resonating with us. Asriel doesn't want us to leave. We're the only one that understands him. He cares so much and he's not ready to say goodbye. He begs and pleads for us to let him win. No matter how much he hurts us, we're too determined to die now. Slowly but surely, everything fades away, until only Asriel remains. There's a sort of childish innocence to his design. His title, God of Hyperdeath, even feels like something a young child would come up with for a character with equally absurd powers. Because that's what Asriel is. That's what Flowey is. A child. We learn that our name isn't what we entered at the start of the game. That person died a long time ago. When we entered that name, we were entering the name of the first human who fell down here. While their name is whatever you enter, they actually have an official name. Kara. Our character's name is actually Frisk. Asriel explains that as a flower he was soulless. With no compassion for other people, he became violent. But now with everyone's souls, he feels the compassion of every monster in the underground. We give him our forgiveness, and by channeling the power of the human souls and every monster in the underground, the barrier is destroyed. Now, without the souls, Asriel will turn back into a flower, emotionless and devoid of good once again. We comfort him. Asriel lets us know that we'll do a great job, no matter what. With one last goodbye and a promise to take care of Toriel and Asgore, he walks away, and everything fades to white. We wake up surrounded by all our friends. It's as if everything was just a dream, but it wasn't. The barrier is now broken. We can leave the underground forever. But before we do that, Toriel says it might be a good idea to say goodbye to everyone in the underground. So, before we leave, let's take one last walk, shall we? We walk through all the locations we've been throughout our adventure. We see all these characters talking about what they'll do now that the barrier's open. It's somber, but also a joyous feeling, knowing all these characters get to be free. We even see the Amalgamates reuniting with their families. You can even go back to the ruins. Crazy to think our journey started here. Might as well say goodbye to the hole we fell down. Asriel? He's still here, waiting to turn back into Flowey. He tells us that he can't come back, not wanting to break everyone's hearts all over again. Then he asks us an interesting question, something we hadn't even considered up to this point. Why did we, Frisk, climb Mount Ebott, even knowing the legend that those who do never return? I suppose it's a question for the player to ask themselves about the game as a whole. Why did we decide to play it? While only you can know the answer to that, what we do know is why the fallen human, Kara, climbed the mountain. Asriel says that Kara hated humanity. For why is unclear, but it's clear they were not a good person. Asriel goes on to explain that when they first combined their souls, control was split between them. Kara picked up their own body and took it to the village that day. Despite wanting to destroy all the humans, Asriel fought against Kara's control, and got them both killed in the process. This birthed Flowey and his kill or be killed philosophy. Asriel was manipulated by who he thought was his best friend, and it cost him his soul and the ability to ever love again. Trapped forever as an emotionless flower. Asriel recognizes that he made the right decision. If he had followed through, another war would have broken out. It may not have been a perfect decision, but everyone's free now. Asriel gives us these parting words. Don't kill, and don't be killed. That's the best you can strive for. One last time we walk through the underground, from the bottom of the ruins to the top of the castle. We can go back to the coffin room and see that all of them are open, implying the souls can finally rest. We take our final steps in the underground, and finally, we're free. The sun beams over the horizon. It's not only the dawn of a new day, but a new era for all of the monster kind. Slowly but surely, everyone goes their separate ways, and Toriel gives us a choice. Stay with her, or go on our own. If you choose to stay with her, Toriel laughs at how funny the decision is. If we had stayed with her earlier, none of this would have happened at all. It may not have been a perfect decision, but everyone's free now. Holding her hand, we walk off. Roll credits. We see a small summary of what all the different monsters are doing after leaving the underground, as well as animations of all our friends living out their best lives. Asriel even returns momentarily to do the special thanks for the Kickstarter supporters. With that, we can finally close the book on this brilliant game. While Undertale's gameplay can be a drag at times, its story and art style are always worth coming back to, and will influence generations of developers, artists, and writers forever. Before I go, there is one final thing to mention. When you open up the game after beating it, Flowey re-emerges. He talks about how everyone is happy now, and that this ending is everything they could have wanted. However, there's still one threat left to this world. Us. We have the complete power to erase our save file and set everyone back to square one, with no memory of any other timeline. Sure, they are just game characters, and you could reset everything and do whatever you want. Free them again, kill them all, whatever you want. Flowey knows what that power feels like. That's why we stopped him after all. He begs us to let Frisk be happy, let everyone continue on with their lives. But if we do, then he asks that we erase his memories too. Then he says a haunting line. You've probably heard this 100 times already, haven't you? Well, that's all. See you later, Kara. Maybe it's best some things are left as they are. Hey everyone, how are you going? I'm doing great. Oh, this took so goddamn long to make. Jesus. This is the second longest project I've ever worked on. The first is obviously the Bellatrix video, because that was more than a year. So this was a bit shorter, I guess. Now, part of working on this for that amount of time, what is it, like 3-4 months, is the fact that I started uni and I had to deal with all that, which was oh so great. So many amazing things. By amazing things, I mean a lot of annoyances. So yeah, that's been great. I am definitely going to speed this up a lot more. I've got a bunch of break time right about now, like a week and a half. So I'm going to try and get something out quicker, or at least get halfway done with something. My lord, this took forever. I'm so done. Sorry if the editing got a bit lazy at the end. I am so done with this. I am never playing Undertale again for as long as I live. Great game, but like, holy shit, I can't deal with this anymore. But yeah, thanks for watching, I guess. Oh god, I'm so tired. Next video is on Joey's Castle. If you don't know what that is, look it up. I don't care. I'm so tired. Hope you're having a good one. Bye.